Hello everybody, this is Warships Legends memes with yet another video about cruiser positioning. Last video was in the Kirov at tier 4 and now we're going to do a cruiser positioning video in tier 7. We've got some more armor in this one, so we can take a little bit more risks as you will see in the upcoming game. And also we have the ability to use radar for spotting the destroyers. The main goals stay the same, so we are still trying to spot the DDs, trying to protect ourselves, and also trying to get the gaps. So here we are on the map Greece. We spawned in actually at the A side, at the left side of our screen. And first of all, we're going to head up to one of the islands to seek some coverage. We also saw that in the last video where you always want to have some kind of protection. In the meantime, we're looking at the ships on our team and the enemy team. We can see 2 destroyers on each side, also 2 cruisers, and a lot of battleships, and even 2 carriers. And they are going to be really important for the rest of the game. So first of all, the upgrades on the ship. We got aiming systems mod 1. We also got propulsion mod, concealment mod, and main battery mod 3. We are running Einstein as our commander. You can see we've got improved reload time, shell grouping, turret reverse speed, and armor penetration damage. So back to the game. A lot of things are already happening. You can see the enemy destroyer is in B. He's not yet spotted, but we can see he's capping B. We chose not to use our radar because we don't know who's in our own team, and we don't really trust them to fire at the destroyer on B immediately. So we don't do that. We can see actually that our own destroyer, the black, doesn't really have a lot of health anymore. He's focused by their carrier, and he's actually doing a really good job because he actually made sure the destroyer is already killed, and we are in a really difficult position right now. One destroyer down, he didn't cap A, and they got an extra cap in B. So already in a difficult position.
What am I gonna do?
We're taking some shots at the Miyoko. Sometimes he's spotted, sometimes he's not, but we can't really get a citadel off. He even shoots high explosive at us, and he does quite some damage. And you see some sarcastic things being said in the game, especially by the Jolbart. I can understand his position because there's just nobody to spot for him anymore, besides the carrier, of course. Here we already lost our second destroyer, so right off the bat we got 1 cap down, and we got also 2 destroyers out of the game. So I was thinking it was going to be a really bad game. Didn't have a lot of fun in it, but then I just decided let's make the most out of it and see what's going to happen, and that's exactly what we did in this game. So we're still using the island for cover. We're shooting down some planes who are actually spotting us, so didn't want to pop out behind the island. And first of all, we're going to try to protect A. In the beginning I said that the carriers were going to be quite important. That's also what's happening right here. Our carrier is spotting the Miyoko, and I'm just looking over the island where I could fire at the Miyoko. I just made a good guess, but we end up missing the Miyoko.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful and everything. If I can kill it, I will.
There we lost another ship. Also our carrier isn't really happy. You see the knights in the left side of the screen. We do something back, and this is where it gets a little interesting. The Jolbart is pointing at A. I should capture A, but I'm not going to. We see the Zetan. He's being pinged right now, and I'm not really sure what to do right now. I know if we go to A, they already have B. We don't get enough points. We have to get back in the game. The only thing I could do is capture B, because that way it's not just that we are getting points, but we are also making sure that they get less points. So B was really important for us. The Zetan is keeping me spotted, and they take a huge risk right there. I'm going fully broadside, and I'm actually kind of sacrificing myself. I had to, because without that, yeah, of course I would stay alive. But we have a 100% of losing the game. So we take a lot of risk and we get a beating of the Cariolo right there. Yeah.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
So we start to get B and hope to get unspotted right when we get to this island. I got a nasty hit of the torpedo. I didn't see that one coming. Quite a mistake from my side. And that's also what I meant with the carriers are going to be really important in this game. So we get into the position I wanted.
That was great!
I didn't do a whole lot of damage, but yeah, I got one kill, got in the cap in a position where I wanted to be, and I see the sign up is already, yeah, he's about to die right there. And then I noticed both teams got 3 kills, and well, we might actually win this. They've got two destroyers left, and I knew, as I said in previous videos, you have to get rid of the destroyers. So our carrier again is doing a really good job. He's pinging the destroyer, he's keeping them spotted, and I almost kept B, which made me just go for the destroyer. At 7 kilometers, I know my radar has a range of 9, so I popped the radar right here, and I got even 2 of the destroyers spotted. Well, my aim wasn't really good, so to say. I missed some shots. So quite some mistakes also from my side, but I had to keep him spotted as long as possible and do as much damage on destroyer as I could. You see I'm missing the shots again, so I actually made quite a fuck up here by not making good use of my radar. Quite pissed off with myself at the moment, at this moment in the game, because I knew we could actually screw the game by just not using our radar at that point. So again, we got 2 caps, they got 1. The points are getting slowly but sure in our favor, still behind of course at the moment. And the Zetan of them is also doing quite a good job by protecting A. Like this old bot is heading to A, but he can't really make a good move because of the Zetan which is protecting it. You can also see the carrier going to our battleships on the left, and they're also just trying to keep our battleships from capping A. Moreover, we can just see that B is getting contested, and that means one of their destroyers just headed into B. Quite difficult for us, because now we can't get the points we want to get, and their destroyer can go all the way up to A, which means they will get a lot of points. We have to make sure that doesn't happen, but first we have to take some shots at the Kyoko. And our position is still behind this island. It didn't pop out because I wanted to save as a lot of health as I could. I don't have any heals left, so I have to be quite careful. We just have to take out this Kyoko before we can move on. So you see me looking to the left, looking to the front. I try to know where the destroyer is, and at the same time I don't want really to go any more broadside for this Kyoko. So now the position even gets worse. You can see in the top screen we are losing position Delta at the moment, D to the right side of the screen, and I know their destroyers have split up. One of them has gone to D and one of them has gone to A. So we see my carrier and battleship is in A at the moment, so I decided to go for D, because if they capture D, there's nothing that can stop them for the rest of the game of getting points from C and D, so we have to take out that destroyer in order to make any chance of winning the game. Now the main problem for me here is I just need another 30 seconds or so for using my radar. Yeah, the main is firing at me, but I'm not paying any attention. Because the only goal here I have is taking D again and getting rid of their destroyer. I also loaded high explosive, ready to take the shot.
Are you ready?
I'm actually leaving the rest of the game at this point for them, because I just have to contest this side, otherwise we would definitely lose on points. Now getting a little bit lucky here, because I'm spotting the Udachi, and he isn't moving at all, and while I was taking these shots, I just realized that he was AFK at the moment. So actually, he did the best thing he possibly could before going AFK, and that's taking the cap and then leaving. I assume he just had to leave at that point, and he did everything he could in the end for their own team before leaving the game. So I'm just going to speed up this part of the game. We're going to cap D, heading up north to C, and while all that is happening, we are still contesting A with the battleship and our carrier right there. In the meantime, our battleship is still being focused by the Pobeda and destroyer. It won't survive for long, and that way there are only 2 players left on our team. The Pobeda of the enemy team is a really good player. Now he's coming for me. I know he knows I'm capping this cap right now, and he's going to reset me as much as he can. I'm facing away from him because it's the Pobeda, so I don't want to be broadside to his skip bombs. He still managed to reset me, which made sure we didn't get the cap as quick as we would have liked. Well, here it's really tight. I had to just stay in this cap because otherwise we would have lost anyway. So I managed to just stay in the cap, and are heading back towards the carrier. I suddenly realized we got 1 cap ahead, and maybe even 2 if we get Charlie. But I also was noticing that the Pobeda wasn't really scared of me right now. He wasn't turning away. He was even just heading into B, and that that really showed that he knew what he was doing. He's actually doing the same move as I did when I was in the cap of B, and that's sometimes you just have to be broadside and just take a little risk. That's exactly what he's doing right now. He's taking the risk of being broadside, but that way he can get into the cap of B, which is just a pro gamer move. It's really hands down one of the better carrier players I've seen in a while. First he focused our black, and then he focused all the ships that were relevant, like me when I was capping B. After that he was focusing the Charnos and the Jean Bart, so they couldn't cap A. And just hands down one of the better CV players right there. Now he's even capping B, and you see the points. We could get this into a win, but only if we kill a ship right there. You can also still see the Z-35. I tried to reset him, but I see the points in the top of the screen, and I just knew this wasn't going to happen. So we are going to lose this one. But still, I chose to show you this game because it's a really great example of how you should play a cruiser. I mean, I got a lot of caps. I took some risks by sailing broadside in the beginning. I focused on the destroyers, but yeah, you can't really carry everything on your own. Here in the screen are the points in the end. Almost 2.5k basic speed on the losing team. So in the last video and in this video I covered cruiser positional gameplay. It's not the most easy part, so to say, but it's quite an important one if you are trying to play the cruiser line. The next video will be about shells. So it's about shell type, RNG, dispersion, shell grouping, things like that. But I also won't forget about the meme video. So stay tuned, and I hope to see you in the next video.